Hi, Scott. I'm gonna do a timer, but I'm not gonna put it on this screen. I apologize for that.
Okay, no problem. Yep. May I begin?
Yes, go ahead and start.
Okay. The Petaluma Creamery has already been recognized as a historic site at the national and state level. And the SHPO materials that were given to Petaluma Planning Department by Terracon on June of 2019, there are two letters from the State Office of Historic Preservation. In both of these letters, the State Office Historic Preservation Officer, Julian Polanco, states multiple times and designates that the Petaluma Creamery is eligible for the National Historic Register under criterion A and C. Properties determined eligible for listing on the National Register or the California Register will have status codes assigned to them based on the process that this historic determination has occurred. Based on the California Historic Resource Status Code for the property in Petaluma, this would be a 2S2, which means the individual property determined eligible for the National Register by consensus through Section 106 process listed in the California Register. A consensus determination occurs when a federal agency makes a determination under Section 106 for an undertaking determining that a historic property is eligible for the National Register and the SHPO concurs, hence a consensus. This property is automatically listed in the California Register through this process. Based on the Petaluma Creamery being eligible for the National Registry, it is then automatically listed on the California Registry. It then means that this is automatically determined eligible as a historic site. For the City of Petaluma Municipal Code 14.44.020, S.4.I, it defines a telecommunication facility minor if the telecommunication facilities are on a structure recognized as a historic landmark. Per this municipal code and based that the creamery is already been recognized as historic, this project should immediately go back to its original status when the application started. It should now be changed back from a major wireless, which it currently is, to a minor wireless facility, the original and correct status. In addition, based on the City of Petaluma Historical and Cultural Preservation Committee's Municipal Code 15.040A, it states that landmarks shall be defined as buildings or sites listed on the State Office of Historic Preservation Directory of Historic Properties. Example, Historic Properties Data Inventory, or designated by the city as a landmark. Since this property is already recognized at the state level as historic, that would mean that the HCPC should now recognize this as a local historical site and have oversight that comes outlined in their body's code. Thank you for your time.
I attest and affirm the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. In the past 12 months, the Petaluma Creamery completed a federal National Historic Preservation Act review as part of its application to install 16 macro tower antennas on a roof on one of its buildings. On this historic landmark, the Creamery's owner intends to point 16 6-foot-tall wireless antennas that have the capability to output more than 500,000 watts of effective radiated power directly at its neighbors that live within a 3-mile radius of the creamery. Those on the hillsides above the Petaluma High School and across Bodega, Washington will be in direct line of sight of the main beam of this 24/7 toxic pollutant, a pollutant that's so potent that Lloyd's of London, Swiss Re, AM Best, and all of the major reinsurers of the world have decided they will not cover claims for injury, death, and illness from such exposures. This installation of such heavy industrial equipment on a light industry agricultural processing facility would forever change the residential character of about 28 square miles of Petaluma, which is zoned more than 90% residential. The antennas would cause many to lose up to 20% of their home values and would drive many out of their homes because they would not be guaranteed the basic public safety in their own homes. That would be a violation of the California Constitution, which grants us inalienable rights to both privacy and safety. The application that the planning department has been working on with the applicant, Complete Wireless, which is a shell company designed to shield Verizon Wireless from such claims for injuries, illnesses, and deaths from this excessive amount of effective radiated power, proceeded in total secrecy for almost 10 months. Finally, the M Group, the contract planners for Petaluma, on June 10th, 2020, posted a webpage about this project. And they attempted to give thousands of residents affected only 13 days to defend their homes and their lives before this item was presented to the Planning Commission. Well, Petalumans rose to the challenge. formed Petaluma West VHP, and despite City Hall being closed to the public due to COVID-19 shelter-in-place restrictions, have defended their homes and families, left no stone unturned, compiled the evidence, and placed that evidence into the Petaluma public record to establish that the Petaluma Creamery has already been recognized as an historic landmark property by the state of California. You see, the very process of going through the NHPA review did it. The property is now recognized by the state of California as an historic landmark, completely independent of any local opinion or even the opinion of the landowner. This is a done deal. Complete Wireless did this to the very location upon which they hope to install this massive antenna farm. Oops. I've expressed no matter of mere concern, but solely matters of substance, fact, and law.
Hello?
Hello, Helen.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. This is all very science fiction-y, but here we go. This is my comment. I attest and affirm that the following statements are true and accurate and within my personal knowledge. The residents of Petaluma recognize the historical value of the Petaluma Creamery. On its website, the creamery itself claims to be, and I quote, a historical North California creamery. The website also says, and I quote again, the Petaluma Creamery has several local dairy producers for over 100 years. It has played an integral role in ensuring the longevity of our community and our family farms. When the creamery turned 100, the Sonoma County Farm Bureau wrote an article by Tim Tasconi about the creamery's history. I quote some of the excerpts. The venerable Petaluma Creamery, established in 1913 by a group of dairy farmers, has dutifully anchored the west side of downtown Petaluma for the last century, defining the town's agricultural roots and serving as an economic engine for the Sonoma Marin Dairy Belt. Some towns have bell towers, classic courthouse breweries as their identity. Petaluma has its creamery and is proud of it. Since its founding 100 years ago, the creamery has been a story about cows and people, roller coaster milk markets, and trucks that move milk from farm to table. But the Petaluma Creamery is mostly a story about the people. Names like Benedetti, Del Donadero, who have helped it thrive, prosper, so farmers have an outlet for their milk. The Petaluma Creamery has regional significance as well. And I quote again, without the creamery, there would be fewer dairies in the two counties known as Sonoma Marin Dairy Belt. Dr. Corey, who has deep roots in the Sonoma Marin dairy industry and previously worked for Dairy Farmers of America, said the Petaluma Creamery is important to Petaluma and Sonoma and Marin counties. The creamery has been the center of Petaluma for a century, a foothold for the town's economy and identity, he said. Over the last 100 years, it has supported a lot of families. It's been the driving force in supporting other businesses like mills and banking institutions. In conclusion, I submit that the Petaluma Creamery has an enormous historical value that is recognized for both our local and regional community. I've expressed no matter of mere concern, but solely a matter of substance, fact, and law. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name's Shad Cloney. I attest and affirm that the following statements are true, accurate, and within my personal knowledge. I'm a realtor and I've lived on Western Avenue for over 10 years, and I'm currently raising my 3- and 5-year-old kids. I am here to defend my home and talk to you about the Verizon antenna farm as being proposed on the rooftop of Petaluma Creamery. This means that just 75 feet above our homes at the edge of each corner of that flat roof, Verizon is installing 4 6-foot tall antennas. These are major league micro tower antennas. We have looked at the antenna specs as a group, and there's 16 total antennas. They have the capability to output over 525 watts of effective radiated power. That's a lot of power. Since these antennas are designed to have a 3 dB override, that means antennas can actually output over 1 million watts of effective radiated power. That's overkill in every sense of the word. Do we need these antennas just 75 to 100 feet from our homes? Well, of course we do not, because there's already substantial written evidence in the public record that proves there is no significant gap in coverage, in telecommunication coverage. As a realtor, I know I am going to see about 20% drop in the values of homes if this gets approved. That's millions of dollars when you consider all the houses affected. That's taking a residence property and it giving to a multi-billion wireless company. Towns and cities across the country are taking important steps to better balance the needs of its residents and the needs of these wireless companies that we need to do here. We don't have to forever change the character of our residential neighborhood just to bend the whims of Verizon. All we need is for the planning department to order an industry standard drive test that will accurately measure carrier specific signal strength in dBm for every frequency. By putting that data in the public record, we can make objective decisions about how much, if any, additional effective radio power we are willing to add to our neighborhood that needs it for the telecommunications service. Monterey hired an independent RF engineer to do such a drive test. He found no significant gap in coverage outside of homes for telecommunications service. In March 15, 2018 Planning Commission meeting, the Monterey Planning Commissioner carefully listened to the results of the drive test, listened to the public comments, and asked good questions. The commissioner overruled staff and voted 7-0 denying Verizon application for a wireless telecommunication facility, Monterey Vista neighborhood of Monterey. We are hereby asking that the planning department order a drive test conducted by a neutral third party to give us objective data that we need.
I guess my question is, following the public comment period, there's a lot of interest we've seen in the Petaluma Creamery. And so I'm wondering, Heather, if you're able to comment about whether we plan to see that project in an upcoming meeting or not.
Sure. If we want to move, are we ready to move to staff comment? And I can.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm
Sure.
sorry. Sure. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and go and start staff comment then, if there are no other comments from the committee.
Okay. So you obviously did hear a lot of general public comments about the creamery. There is a application for a wireless facility on the creamery. It is under review right now with staff. There is obviously a lot of public interest, and we are looking into some of the information provided by the speakers in terms of the classification at the state level of the creamery. So I don't have a response specifically to that, and so I also don't have a response specifically to the HCPC review of it. But I just want to assure you that we're looking into that, and we will, obviously, if that is the right course of action, it will come before the HCPC for comment, as well as the Planning Commission. But there's a lot of information coming in on that, and it's not on the agenda, so rest assured we're looking into that. Also, about the plans, that is no problem. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to have plans available for future virtual meetings for those people that want to. Maybe you can individually send an email. Just some people like the physical plans, some people don't need them. So if you could just let us know, we will do our best to make sure everyone has what they need in the best form we can. And then my final thing I wanted to note is that we have a large agenda today for the HCPC. It's more items than are typically on a general HCPC agenda. And we do have a Planning Commission meeting that follows this one. So we do have until about 6:30. So I just wanted to kind of put that on people's radar to be cognizant of. And if we start running into that, we may need to continue items. If the committee would like to postpone the presentation to the end of the meeting. So if that's one item, in order to assure that we get to the two discretionary items, I'm happy to wait and do that as time permits at the end, as that item is not a decision-making item. There's no recommendation there. It was just a presentation. So at the committee's discretion there. And that's all I have.